I have seen this one segment of the market almost exclusively surprise sellers with huge costs, tanked property values, and have sellers underwater and regretting ever making this buying decision in the first place. I myself would never buy in this segment of the Edmonton market because as a realtor, I have seen at least 80% of buyers lose money, and I don't want that to happen to you. Hey friends, I'm Leanna Martins. I have been a real estate agent in Edmonton for about a decade, and condos are one of the most volatile property types that I see locally in our market, especially when people buy from out of province or out of country, or simply do not understand that the risks that the Edmonton condo market presents and how it underperforms. So I'm going to walk you through 1, why condos tend to drop first and recover last. 2, the biggest risks that I see over and over again. 3, what is a special assessment really? And 4, the 9 ways that I put together to mitigate your risks if you're really dead set on buying anyways because the lifestyle makes sense and perhaps the price point makes sense to you. Hey, if you're buying or selling in Edmonton, join my free buyer or seller academies. They are completely free and they're going to help you learn what to avoid, top Edmonton neighborhoods, my 430 sales system, and guess what? It's all for free. I'm not even asking for an email. If you want some personal attention, email me below at leanna@martinsgroup.ca for a one-to-one strategy call, and we'll get you set up. So, why are Edmonton condos volatile? In 10 years of practicing real estate here, condo values have consistently been depressed, and they've consistently not held their value. So they usually are the first to drop in a downturn. They are always the last to recover. The biggest issue is that many of the factors that are affecting your condominium's value when you purchase are completely out of your control as an owner. And there happens to be a lot of them. First, the management risk. So when you buy a condo, you are trusting a condo board and a management company to responsibly manage millions of dollars on behalf of all the owners in the building or the complex. That's for condo fees collected monthly. Your condo fees are meant to cover the following things. So it's meant to cover day-to-day operations and management, things like insurance, maintenance like snow removal, lawn care, and capital maintenance like repairs and replacement of things like the boiler system, decks, fences, siding, windows, roofs, AC systems, electrical, and more. The management company can easily mismanage the funds by not repairing or maintaining these items in timely manner, and then it ends up costing additional replacement far sooner than necessary. And they can make poor decisions or to order replacement of entire units' windows when only a small percentage of the entire complex or building have actually failed. They can make mistakes on forecasting, miss properly budgeting for large capital expenses that should be coming up. And these are just to name a few of the things literally that I have seen in the last year, never mind the last 10 years. I currently have a pending unit right now, actually, which I have no idea if it's actually going to go through or not, because the condo management company, I found out today, after 9 years of management, has never had condo fees being contributed to the reserve fund. So how is that even possible that the condo fees are not going towards the reserve fund, because it's a gigantic portion of the purpose of condo fees. It's not just daily maintenance. So now the seller's in a situation where they cannot sell their unit without approval of the condo documents. Well, buying in a building with zero reserve fund may be a very big risk for any pending buyer and make this and all the units in this building very difficult to sell. So condo document companies, when they review condo docs, they recommend reserve funds be at least 85% to capacity. And that depends on upcoming repairs, current contributions, and the 5-year reserve plan. But to be safe, 85%. So 0? Not so sure. What do you think and what would you do? Hey, if you like this, join my free buyer or seller academies for trusted insider information like this to help you avoid costly mistakes and win in the real estate game, friends. Get smart, not sold. Click the link below. And if you want direct one-on-one attention from me, email me at leanna@martinsgroup.ca and we'll put together a one-to-one strategy for you. So let's talk about special assessments and what they actually are. A special assessment happens when a building doesn't have enough money in its reserve fund to cover a major repair. That cost gets passed directly to the owners. So I have seen special assessments as low as $3,000 and all the way up to $60,000 per unit per owner. So I'd like you to let that sink in. In older buildings, multiple systems can often need replacement within very short time frames. Things like roofs, underground parking, concrete, boilers, windows, sidings, decks, fences. So when several of these hit at once, owners can face multiple assessments year over year, followed by condo fee increases to rebuild the reserve fund that's been depleted. How often do one of these things happen? So the biggest problem is that you never know due to the factors previously mentioned. So what I do is I always coach my buyers to put money aside and expect at least one special assessment in a 10-year period, and you have no idea. So I say save $5,000 to $10,000 is a safe number. If an owner can't pay a special assessment, then they're often forced to sell their unit. When this happens for a seller, the unit values usually drop the amount of the special assessment or more, and the seller has to pay those special assessment out of the proceeds of the sale before it transfers ownership. Large assessments often trigger large sell-offs in buildings, so especially in lower price buildings. This in turn drops the entire building or complex's value, and it makes the units extremely hard to sell. So again, I have seen this happen more than once. I currently have a seller right now that I advised to hold until the values return, as he's going to lose way too much. Because not only did he pay the $40,000 special assessment, put a renter back in, it's going to take him probably 4 to 5 years just to recover that 40 grand in special assessment costs. And that's not including the equity loss in all of these units as a result of this large special assessment. So the risk is amplified in large multi-unit buildings and large complexes where replacement costs can be absolutely massive, and it affects every unit at once. So I've got another client who wanted to sell 3 months ago who had exactly one of these units in this type of multi-unit complex. So it was a lower value unit. I think it might have been $130,000. It had had 4 special assessments in 5 years and had another one upcoming. Condo red flags that I would avoid if you're gonna buy in 2026. So if you absolutely must buy an Edmonton condo, here is what I would advise you to do in 2026. First, try and avoid buildings older than 10 years. Avoid large multi-complex units or large buildings. Avoid buildings with repeated or upcoming replacement costs, high crime locations that look cheap for a reason. Units far from transit. Avoid units far from groceries or amenities. Avoid units with condo fees that are over $400 a month, unless it's including utilities, because guess what? Condo fees only go up. Avoid buildings with pools or expensive amenities, because it increases your risk and the amount of special assessment when it happens. Avoid units that are less than $200,000 in general. What's interesting is recent Edmonton condo values over this last year. So we saw a significant run up in condo values between January and June of 2025. And it's something that I have not seen in a decade of practicing real estate here. They ran up 22% year over year in value. It was nuts. So for sellers who caught that window, which my seller right now I advised to, but she didn't quite make it in time. Great timing for you. And for buyers who missed it, I really hope that they bought smart. What does buying smart actually mean? Let me tell you. Here is how to reduce your downside as much as possible. First, learn all the risks as I've taught you in this video. Save money annually on top of your expenses to prepare for a special assessment anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000. And I want you to accumulate that over the course of 5 years. And here's my 8-point formula to mitigate your risk as much as you can. Choose a 2-bedroom and 2-bath minimum. If it has a den, that's great. Ensuite laundry, underground parking, ensure that it's close to groceries and entertainment and daily amenities. Close to LRT or major bus routes as well. And make sure your condo fees stay under $400 a month at the purchase on onset. Make sure that your reserve fund is 85% or more funded. I'd like you to avoid large multi-building complexes and try and stick, if you can, with townhouses with the smallest size complex. And when choosing apartment style, again, no large multi-unit buildings. And I'd also advise you to avoid pools or anything else with large capital expenses in a lot of these apartment style condos. So these factors can stabilize your resale. They're going to protect the desirability of your unit and reduce your exposure to unmanageable fees and assessments that will come. So if you're going to buy, That's how you do it as smart as possible in the Edmonton market. And even better, there are many builders who are building townhomes now, my friends, and duplexes without condo fees in a first-time home buyer price point. So no, it's not $200,000. This is what I would recommend. So price points $350 to $400, brand new. And you can also get older units for cheaper that I believe are a much safer purchase for first-time home buyers and investors. So listen, with condos, I totally get what the allure is. It's price point and accessibility to home ownership. So for a first-time buyer and for investors, it's low perceived carrying costs and what you think is cash flow. Listen, I get it. For the average unit, you could buy it for under a $9,000 down payment and $900 a month with, let's say, $550 a month condo fees. That seems like a great deal, doesn't it? And an opportunity. But here's what it tends to happen. First-time buyers very soon realize that condo fees always increase. And even though you pay your monthly condo fees, you can still be hit with much more in special assessment costs for maintenance and repairs that your condo fees you perceive are supposed to cover. For an investor, when the interest rates change, market rents decline, for example, and cash calls come, your investment not only costs you more monthly, which makes it a liability, not an asset that you intended, so bad investment, but it can tank your hard-earned savings and the wealth building dream that you had for you and your family. 100% of my investor clients, when they come to me to sell, all are losing money per month and they are subsidizing their condominiums. And that's of course including my pending deal right now, which is why she came to me to sell it. I hope this info helped you and you can put it to good use to protect yourself and forward it to friends or family members so they can make smart decisions to save them from making a huge mistake that they can undo once it's done. So if you are buying or selling in Edmonton, check out my free Buyer and Seller Academies below, my friends. I made them specifically with you in mind to help you get smart, not sold. It's got my 430 sales system. It's got neighborhood tours. It's got checklists, and it has direct access to me, market stats, and more real world advice to make sure you don't make mistakes that you can't get out of. So get smart, not sold. Click that link below. And if you want, you can email me direct at leanna@martinsgroup.ca. Thank you so much for sticking around all the way to the end. This was a doozy. If you like this, then you are going to love my next video, what to look for in a neighborhood before you buy. So I'm going to see you in the next video.